Hello everyone. Let's wait for that to load. Oh, I think we're good. Let's check. Just gonna check that you can see me in the group. Yeah, let's check which volume is good. Okay, great. Welcome to Thursday night. Welcome. So excited to be here. If you're here, come and say hi. If you're new to the group, welcome. Lovely to have you here with us. If you see it later on replay, #replay, so I know you saw this video as well. I've got really good session today all about inner critics and how it affects our riding and our relationship with our horses. And why do we label ourselves and our horses, and how it affects our mental health and our interactions with our horses. So as you probably know, I'm going live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Melbourne time. Tag your friends who struggle with lack of confidence, anxiety, fear and self-doubt, and invite them to join the group so they can have this training as well. And if you don't know me yet, I'm Abby Spielman. I'm a trauma therapist who helps female equestrians all across Australia to become confident riders by overcoming fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. So I'll just go out and say that. And you probably know this, but our inner critic can be our worst nightmare, but also can be a good friend, right? If you think about it, she's never happy. She will tell you you are wrong. However, in other instances, she will tell you you are great and push you forward. Sometimes she will ask or judge your actions. And I just wonder, if you could draw a picture of your inner critic, what would it look like? Maybe describe it in the comments below. I would love to know. And actually with AI, you can actually create that picture as well. And how can we see the inner critic, recognize it, and still make a decision that suits us? From my experience, the critic will continue to criticize. That's basically its job. However, did you know there are two types of self-criticism? One type is an unhealthy conscious, when we don't measure up to our measures. We feel we are not good enough. The second type is a healthy conscious, one that acts like a coach. She says, try this or experiment that, or you could have done better. Can you see the difference between those two types? Most people are getting those two confused. And, each one of us has a completely different inner critic. And depending on our culture, what we went through in our early years, and how our nervous system developed and adapted, it's all gonna affect our inner critic. It might be hard to believe, but the inner critic, despite being very harsh on us, it is an act of self-love and self-judgment. It tries to help us feel safe. And as we grow up, we understand through life and cultural aspects how it should or shouldn't be, how we're supposed or not supposed to act or do certain things. The pressure of the self-critic, plus how we should or shouldn't be with our horses, or how our horses should or feel or be in this particular moment, may result in an unpleasant experience. We are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform while missing the true experience. And when I work with a horse, I try to really listen to them like we're having a conversation. I want to see what they need right now and how they're feeling. And, if I think or come with label of difficult or dumb before I even start, I'm already making things harder, and I'm setting myself up to fail. To have good relationship, whether with our horses or with people, we need to learn to let go of the past and learn how to communicate with our inner critic. Sometimes the reason we label our horse's behavior or get upset or disappointed with them or even ourselves is because the horses have brought up an issue that has been bothering us for quite some time, maybe even years, and we haven't dealt with it. Their behavior might be triggering us. I'm just gonna turn off this. I'm gonna put the blinds a bit up so I have more light. There you go. So I'll give you an example. I work with a lady who felt frustrated with her horses. She didn't mean to be. She loves her horses. She has about 3 horses. However, she felt she can't find the patience to be with them. She felt frustrated every time they've done something wrong. She contacted me to find out what's behind this frustration, as she didn't like to feel this way around the horses. So we managed to get to the core why she felt frustration. And it's a reason that's been there for quite some time, years actually. She's now around her 30, about late 30s. And the core frustration started when she was a teenager, and her parents have made her leave their horse behind when they moved to Australia. She didn't even realize that that particular event has influenced her so much, especially after all those years. And once we managed to find the root cause and complete the process, she reported back that she felt frustration coming up for a short time, however dissipated very quickly, so she could move on with her life and enjoy her beautiful horses. The tricky thing with trauma is that we are not aware of it. And of course, if we are not aware of it, we can't change it, right? The more we work on ourselves, we can be a better version of ourselves. And our relationship with our horses will be so much better. Actually, every relationship will benefit from that, don't you think? Does that make sense? Type the word better if it makes sense. So we can't let old stories or judgment get in the way. Every time I'm with my horse, I try to be present, to see what's happening right now, without any old stories or ideas. As I explained in my previous videos, a trauma can be a major event, such as I've fallen off the horse, or it can be a minor event. And usually we suppress minor trauma events. Our nervous system is trying to protect us by suppressing those events so we don't have to feel the same emotion. I'll give you an example for minor events. For instance, it could be someone was not allowing me to participate in a game and I felt left out. Therefore, I might think I'm not good enough. That's a traumatic event because I felt strong emotions and I had no support to deal with that situation. So my nervous system has realized I'm not good enough. There are so many minor incidents throughout our lives that shape the way we are living our lives right now, shaping our belief system. And we think or believe this is the way it is and this is me and I can't change it. This by itself is a false belief. We might blame ourselves for what happened or believe we're not worthy of good things. These old wounds can make us judge ourselves very harshly, which then affects how we connect with others and with our horses. So to get past that, we need to learn how to let go of the stories we tell ourselves about what happened before. Once we learn how to let go of the story or beliefs that have been limiting us and not serving us, we can finally clear our minds and just see the horse or the person in front of us We can understand what they need and respond accordingly. I'll give you another example. I work with a lady who felt frustrated, sad, and upset towards her horses. She spent all day with them still feeling sadness. And she was not sure why she's feeling this way, so she approached me to understand and try to solve this issue. She thought initially that the reason her horse was not listening to her was because the mare had a long break, or she was lacking minerals or vitamins, or even sore. She's still checking this out, and we haven't ruled this out yet. However, when she approached me to understand why she was feeling frustrated and sad while spending time with the horses, we found out that it's got to do with the relationship between her and a girlfriend. They broke up after 20 years. She wasn't part of that decision to break up. The other lady has decided to move on, and this has caused her to be very frustrated and sad. She knew she was upset about it. However, she thought she was over it and moved on, got very busy at work and tried to forget about it. However, once her mare became more difficult, it actually triggers that emotion, which affected their relationship. We are still working on those emotions, but at least we know what is behind that symptoms of the frustration and sadness. It takes some time to process, and it is a journey. And I'm just wondering, have you ever felt like that before? You know, an emotion comes up when you are around your horse. You know it has nothing to do with the horse, but at the same time, you are not sure where it originated from. Let me know in the comments below, how did you feel or what emotion came up? When we feel safe and supported inside of us, we have better relationship with everyone, our horses, our friends, our family. If we present and not stuck on old stories or labels, we can make good decisions, good choices based on what's really happening, not just reacting to the past. And it's not just about how we see others, it's about how we see ourselves. Sometimes we judge ourselves really harshly because of things that happened in the past, things that hurt us. We might tell ourselves we're broken or not good enough because of those experiences, those past traumas. It's important to remember that trauma isn't our fault, and those self-judgments are often a way our minds try to protect us, even if they end up hurting us more. We need to be gentle with ourselves and recognize that healing from trauma takes time and self-compassion. We need to stop telling ourselves bad stories about who we are. When we are kind to ourselves, we are less judgmental. Healing takes time, but being gentle with ourselves is the first step. And I'd like to quote Carl Jung. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And I think this quote powerfully summarizes the idea that unacknowledged past experience shape our present reality. So if you feel you need help with free yourself from self-judgment, to learn how to be kind and compassionate to yourself, and how to move forward from repeating the same old story in your head over and over again, a story that keeps you stuck, I invite you to have a chat. Let's book a 20 minutes free phone call consultation to have a plan how to move forward. Let's learn how to let go of self-judgment and enjoy our time with our horses. Comment the word chat in below and I'll reach out to have an honest conversation. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next Thursday.